result as before. So that's basically how you can store and serve up files in MongoDB and Lithium. So next we'll look at a couple of different ways of interacting with those photos and using them. So first of all, all these photos were photos that I took on my iPhone, which geotags them in the what's called EXIF data. So all these photos have EXIF tags with GPS coordinates embedded. So one of the projects that we have kind of under the Lithium banner is a tool called Li3Geo, which I have here, and I'm just going to symlink it into my application. So we'll go LNS, and then we'll give it the name of the libraries directory of the application. So now that just symlinked the plugin, and now this plugin is actually going to be published on it's called a site called lab.lithify.me. So you can go there, and it'll be listed down here along with a bunch of other plugins that we're releasing over the next couple of weeks. So right now, it only works with MongoDB's geo-indexing, and it has a couple of other features for, like for example, EXIF data. But we're also working on support for, MySQL, CouchDB with GeoJSON. I don't know how many other people are using like multiple databases in the same environment. So if you are, yeah, we've got you covered, or we will shortly. So here in libraries we have our plugin, and I'm actually going to cheat off some source that I wrote earlier because I don't remember, and it's not documented, so shame on me. It will be soon, I promise. So first what we want to do is go into the photo model and import a couple of other classes. Or actually, sorry, first we need to actually register the plugin with Lithium. So in Lithium, everything is a library, including the app and Lithium itself. So as long as everything sits in its proper directory, all we have to do is tell it the name, and it will automatically know where to look. So now I will begin to cheat off my notes. So these are two classes that we're importing from the plugin. One handles geocoding, and one is actually a behavior that attaches to the model itself. So we can intercept this init function. And this is kind of a magic Lithium function that automatically gets called when a class is loaded. So PHP doesn't really have semantics for this, but because of late starting and auto-loading and everything like that, we found it really useful to be able to have a function that is invoked kind of lazily once a class is actually required. So that's what this does. So as soon as the photo model is loaded, this method will be invoked. And we want to say...
Wait, how is that different from the construct?
Because construct, you're actually instantiating a class, whereas this, it's all called statically, so the class is never actually instantiated. So therefore, construct is never invoked.
So as soon as the actual file is required?
Right, so as soon as I actually call a method on photo, it's only loaded right then because of auto-loading.
It's not on require, like there's a universal library locator that's implemented so that you do a library locate, it finds it, and then introspects to see if this init method exists. If it does, load it immediately after you've required the file.
Right.
So it gives the behavior like it is on require, just the behavior of it.
Yeah. It's very similar to so it's basically just a service locator,
Well, the service locator is what looks up the class, but this is just once the class is loaded, like everything in the framework is completely lazy. So because of that,
a non-factory factory, because it doesn't build anything.
Because of that, there's no way to say when this class is loaded, do this. Like you have to actually build a mechanism for that because PHP doesn't have anything.
Like Java static, Java.
I'm sorry?
There's a static block in Java that gets called when the class loads. It's like that.
Yeah.
It's a static constructor. You're making a static constructor.
Yeah, kind of. Except it's not a constructor, so it's like a non-constructor constructor.
It's just an initialization of a class.
Right. It's an initialization routine, exactly. So what we want to say is bind this model class, or bind the locatable behavior to this model class. and I forget what the settings are. I think it's fields. Yeah, I'm gonna cheat. Okay. Okay, so my fields are gonna be location.latitude and location.longitude. So location is actually gonna be a nested object within my photo document containing a latitude and longitude. And part of the reason why we do this and we explicitly say what order they're in is because Mongo's geo-indexing will let you put latitude and longitude in any order, but you have to maintain consistency yourself. So we say, here, just declare it, and then we'll actually help you keep it in order. So we're binding this. So now that's great. And what this is going to do is a couple of things. First, it's going to kind of lazily make sure that a 2D location index is created on the photos collection. And finally, it's going to add a couple of different find syntaxes. So what we're seeing here with first and all, that's actually just sugar for going like find all or find first. So what we're going to do instead is overload that syntax again and add some different semantics for finding stuff by location. So that's great, but we don't actually have any code for pulling the geodata out of the photos. So the next thing we're going to do is overload the save function. And it takes a few parameters. And I don't remember what I did here. Right, okay, so at least I'm typing it, I'm not just copying it. You gotta give me some credit here. And then, yeah, screw it, I'm just gonna copy. So basically, this is getting past the actual instance of the document. And we're saying, okay, if the document hasn't been created yet, if it's a new one and we're uploading a new photo, the geocoder class from the plugin has this exif coords method, which basically takes the output from the exif read data, which is a method built into one of the libraries in PHP, which basically takes a file and just extracts all the metadata out of it as a big array structure. So we're going to pass that to the plugin, and the plugin is going to assign that to the location property. So one of the things that's going on here is basically the exif data is encoded in degrees, minutes, seconds, and they use north, south, east, and west instead of negative and positive numbers. So what this is going to do is basically take that and turn it into an array with just latitude and longitude and positive and negative floating point numbers, which is the format that MongoDB expects. So we're going to create our location field, and then while we're at it, why don't we add some tagging? So again, since Mongo is completely schemaless, all we have to do is go edit our edit form and say, we don't want to update this if photo exists, or if the photo already exists, we really just want to update the metadata. So we'll get rid of that. But then we'll also say field tags, and we'll try and upload a new photo. So we'll take another one. Film festival. Or, you know, either or. So obviously you can see I've done this once before. So this is an image from the Tribeca Film Festival a few weeks ago. So we're going to save that, and in theory, it should give us back. Okay, so we've got our photo, and we theoretically have the, here we'll just go to view and just do a quick dump of photo.location data, just so we can see the theoretical geocoordinates. Okay, so there we go. 40 west and 73 west and 40 north. That's roughly about right. That's somewhere in New York. So we have our geo coordinates, but also this other part of the routine that we added says, okay, if we have tags and tags aren't an array, you probably noticed that back here, we basically just put the tags as a comma-separated list. So here we want to actually say, okay, split out this comma-separated list into an array, trim the white space, and then save it. So now to actually display the tags, we'll go for each array, photo tags as tag. And then we'll output the tag as a link to photos